Hello, busy internets, and welcome to this video where today I have the custom Pessima because I decided it would be good to do a few custom vehicles for this week's West Coast time trial. And why is the camera stuttering so bad? I really don't know. It's fixed itself now. You'll see here we have fancy wheels and tyres, we have disc brakes all around, which I think the Pessima has anyway. We have a boot. You may think this is a performance monster as well, since we also have a custom steering wheel. Well, no. It is actually just a standard Pessima with better suspension and wheels. I'll get going now, and I can talk about it on the way. Yeah, stock V6 in this, making 170 horsepower. It is not powerful, but hey, it's better than other vehicles we've had as of yet. Now, this vehicle I have, taken it round before, and fine! You've made your point. No need to lose it like that. Hello, visitors of the internets, and welcome to this video where today I have a 1990s Ibishu Pessima with custom wheels, tyres, and steering wheel. It also has a completely standard V6. Anyway, I'll get going now. So, this is just the standard 172 horsepower Pessima V6. No fancy custom race engine here. Even though it's a custom version of a car. No. Anyway, I have taken this round before, but I didn't capture the video stupidly because I didn't work out my recording software. Even though I worked out ages ago and I knew what to do, my mind just had a bit of a problem and it forgot how to operate a computer. So, you know, that's always something. Either way, it's a very easy car to drive, so I shouldn't be benefiting a huge amount from taking the laps again. And, around here we go. It is not that quick up hills, I will admit. It's okay though, it does pull its way up. It's not like a HGV or anything, it is better than one of them. And a pole almost hit the front of my car as I turned in, and it does have understeer amazingly, despite not being particularly powerful but being upgraded in terms of suspension. And I did not like that corner, but it is smooth. It's able to take the corners smoothly, and the brakes locked up there. It's strange. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have ABS, but it should have. I mean, if it's a V6 model of a Pessima, you'd think it would have at least a few luxury features, some standard, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe it's just a base model where they put the V6 in because reasons I don't quite understand. You know, make a less luxury vehicle more expensive instead of just buying the inline 4 with a few nice features like seats that are leather instead of cloth, and a feature you would actually realise and love every day, instead of a V6 which would just be an expense in an economy car, which is what this is. It's an economy car in its entirety. It is not a sports car, and that's why I guess it's a poor custom, because, you know, it's not the kind of vehicle you would customise, as we got worryingly close to the curb there. And along we keep trekking in the hope of setting a quick time. How quick was our last lap? And, cut across there. 2 minutes 8, that's about in line with what I expected from this vehicle, given I have done this before. And through here we go. I'm just easily able to set clean times. Cut across here. Oof, that might have done some damage. I don't know. Yeah, it's veering to the right. But the speed you can save by just attacking that in a car like this where it's fully and entirely capable of cutting across there. I mean, why wouldn't you? I'm flooring it right now in case you haven't realised. I don't think I've punctured my tyres. You'd think those curbs would puncture my tyres, but no, they haven't. Amazingly. Maybe the suspension is just too firm and it transfers all the impact to your rear end, which is actually very possible in a car like this. Oh, come on. Yes, just about made it round that corner. On the curb. And I can ride that round. wide that out, like so, and I'm noticing the understeer, again, pretty bad. I've had the Covet Race round, and that was not as bad as this. So, yeah, that was definitely a nice handling car. I guess it's just too large to really do anything. It's a large front-wheel drive car. I'm guessing front-wheel drive suited to small cars, because remember the old Minis were some of the first front-wheel drive cars around, and they were known to handle incredibly well. So I'm just guessing as a driveline, it generally works well on smaller vehicles, at least for handling. I'm not saying you can't get a large car to be refined with front-wheel drive. You most likely can, but it's not their strongest suit. And a 2-minute 3, how impressive. Now on to free roam. It did set a 2-minute 5 before, but I'll take this time. Whoa, that wheel! I think that just broke at the end, to be honest. But yeah, it set a 2-minute 5 before, and that was what it had, but 2 minutes 3 seems fair enough. It was a legitimate time. I honestly think I saved it over that curb I cut across with both wheels instead of cutting across with just one. I mean, it could take it, so why not? There's the lights. It survived fairly well. It's just the front always takes the abuse. Thankfully, we're not on Stairway Mountain here, where you actually need the front to have some suspension in order to survive. This is a road course, and so it's a well-designed vehicle for that. I believe the full name is Pessima Street Tune, so yeah, let's see the engine. Let's see the mighty engine that pulled it to that 2-minute 3 time. Oh, I've pulled my vehicle around a bit. I thought I broke the other wheel as well, but apparently not. Ibishu V6. There we go. Close that. It is a decent vehicle. I don't know. On to the next vehicle. Our next vehicle is the Hirochi Prazu. A fairly loud vehicle, at least compared to the Pessima. But it is, as you will see, essentially a Supra. This one is the tuner version. I forget the specific name, it's just left my mind, but it's pushing 600 horsepower to the rear wheels, and it has a variety of modifications such as suspension and tyres and wheels to make it a bit more track ready. So let's get going. This should be a lot less of a disappointment compared to the Pessima we just had, and oh, it was a poor launch there. Oh dear. Why does it feel so wobbly? The Pessima felt a lot more stable than this, and they're both vehicles of about the same era. Very strange. They're also both unitaries, so I don't know. The most wibbly-wobbly track car in all of history. Now, that'll probably be some other muscle cars, but probably the most wobbly Japanese one. Maybe it's just I'm not used to this level of power, which I guess would make sense given I was driving a sub 200 horsepower Japanese saloon just before this. Right, I need to be careful. Need to be very careful. It's quite a aggressive car if you get it at the wrong angle. If you poke it with the wrong stick, it gets angry. Oh dear. I think it's fine. I don't think we've broken anything yet, which is progress. You know, I've not spun it or broken anything. For the first lap, that's progress, okay? If I can make it onto a second lap, that's progress. The NASCAR did have a pretty poor first lap thanks to a spin, but hey, it made it onto a second lap, so it's not like it hasn't got a lap. It's not like it did not finish. I am learning it though, remember, so even if this lap is the poorest lap in the world, I am still driving an extremely powerful vehicle, and I am still somewhat getting used to how it handles. I am still somehow getting used to that crazy grunt, and I'm actually beginning to like it. Dare I say it, I'm beginning to like the 600 horsepower this thing pushes at its wheels, because it just means it's got such brutal speed when you need it. Yeah, it's not so much power that it really hurts you as it did in the Formula 1 car. It's got just about enough grip to make it usable, I think, without being too intimidating. And through here. Oh, come on. That was quite poor onto that straight. I'd planned it a lot better with my head, I will admit. But hey, again, as I say, I don't think anything's broken, and that's the crucial thing. If we can keep this vehicle together, because having a crash in this is different than having a crash on the Pessima. It's like I'm not going to try cutting this curb, because if I break the front steering in this, it sure is likely to hurt a lot more. I still had a bit of a hit, but I think it was a lower speed hit. And, oh, that was harsh. But yeah, the steering on this, because it's got more than 3 times the power, is likely to do a lot more horrid things to the vehicle once you get it up to the wild speeds than would happen with the Pessima. I think this could be a quick car though. I just have to manage to somehow keep it under control. I'm pretty sure the second lap will be the quicker of the two, although all I have to really do is get it to the end and oh, something happened there. I had a touch of lag and I didn't really know what was going on, but I cut the curbs fairly successfully and I got it to where I wanted to get it. And now we're all about just speed. Oh, we've got to brake again into this next corner. I broke too early, but it's better safe than sorry, I figure. I can accelerate here just about. Ooh. Somehow I survived all of that. I don't know. The car is getting chucked about all over the place. Something feels like it's wrong with the steering and it is veering to the left. I can fight it for long enough. I can fight it for long enough to get it to the end, but I am not a great driver, so I do apologise for all of the fighting you're seeing right now. I am being careful on the power though. I'm not just flooring it everywhere and expecting it to be perfect and... oh. I was flooring it there, I will admit, but I knew it would get to the end in 2 minutes. It is quick. Very quick, actually. Go to free roam very briefly. It's not the very quickest we've seen, but it is definitely at the top of the leaderboard, and we lost a rear bumper somewhere. Is that hiding back there? I think it might be, actually, if I go on my keyboard. Sorry about the clacky keys. It's just like that because it's right near my microphone. No, I can't find it. The bumper has disappeared out of existence. Maybe it was over a jump or something. But the bumper is not here. The front bumper is amazingly still attached in one way or another. And it's all together. The rear wheel will have been destroyed at the end. I don't know why the steering will have felt odd though, because the steering looks perfectly straight. Still, I'm impressed with this vehicle, and I think it's safe to say move on to the next vehicle. After I've just, you know, thought it looks like a Dodge Viper. The GTSR from the late 90s, it looks exactly like that on the way. Anyway, we do have to move on. Okay, so here is a Chevrolet Caprice Resto mod. I believe this is about 50 horsepower down on the Prazu, and probably heavier. It is also American, which means lightly simpler than the Prazu. Well, older as well. Older alone makes it simpler, but American cars are generally simpler than European or Asian cars. It's just the way things go. And I guess that's what the audiences want in those nations. But anyway, I'm going to get going and see how it goes. I do have some good feelings about this. There we go. Ooh. Oh dear. It actually, believe it or not, it feels less wobbly than the Prazu. I've messed it up though, being a bit careless with the power there, but it feels less wobbly. And this is an automatic transmission. That may make it easier for me, and it may actually make it quicker because I've got less strain acting on me. We just ran a red light back there. Oh dear. Yeah. The problem with an automatic transmission, you don't really have control over the power in the same way you have it with a manual. Oh well, it's only the first lap. And it does still feel like a nice handling car to me. Reasonably nice, at least. You have to remember we're still talking about a 550 horsepower boat here, so it's never going to handle like... I would say like a Formula 1 car, but then we saw how poorly the Formula 1 car handled, at least with my driving style of be brutish and aggressive whenever I can. And... whoa, maybe I should say a all-wheel drive Sunburst is probably a more relevant car to compare it to in my case. The good thing about the simplicity of this car is it should be tough. I should be able to chuck it about, and because it's squarer, it means I'm less likely to have a kind of rear wheel smash up like I had with a Prazu, and I'm likely to keep it in better condition even if I do get the tail out wide. I thought I just saw a tiger on the road, or on the side of the road, but it was that barrier. Ooh, that was scary. If you just saw the tyre mark there, I came so close to hitting that bus stop. I think I'm on, just check I'm on drive. Doesn't really hurt. Oh, so many camera angles. I've kind of messed this lap up already, so I'm not too worried if I lose a bit of time changing the camera. Yeah, but I'd rather spin it than hit a bus stop, so that's what I'm saying, because it's already been a fairly poor start of a lap, so, you know, I'd rather just finish this lap as it is and get a better lap next up. Because it does have what's in it, although I'm not that reassured now. Oh. Given the Prazu did just set a good first lap. The Prazu, though, was very touchy on the power if you weren't careful with what you were doing. It feels like a gentler Giant, if you see what I mean. It just doesn't feel so aggressive. If I go into here, oh, trying to balance it out, oh, I'm on the curb there. I don't believe I've punctured my tyre. If I have, I don't know what I can do about it right now. Puncturing tyres is a pretty serious problem on these laps. If you puncture a front tyre, it's likely to be less offensive to your overall time because you're not putting power down through it. At least in these kinds of cars. Oh, in all-wheel drive cars, you are putting power down it. And it does feel like the Prazu, though, as in it's quite forgiving if you have a bit of a bump here and there on a curb. It deals with them well. Some cars will hate the curbs and they won't want to deal with them at all. I'm being a bit gentle here, remember? Oh, come on. Speed! It does bounce a bit, but that's fine. I mean, it's surprisingly stable. And you'll see here, I am being gentle, but the stability is incredible when I am gentle with this car. Ooh, gently into here. Looks like I'm taking a long way round the lamppost. Yeah, not the way I wanted to take that corner. I mean, I guess you could call it cheating, but I didn't have much choice the way the car was bouncing. That was the way that was going to be the most efficient for the car in order to set a good time. I really was braking too late there. My brakes are hot and they're smoking. Probably because they're not quite as good as what the Prazu had. The Prazu had some good brakes to help it get by. Ooh. Struggling to keep this thing in a straight line right now. Ooh, yes. Just found grip at the last moment. But that struggle was not going to help my time, I could tell that now. However, I have smoothed it out quite nicely for this second lap, so I should set at least a half decent time. Will it beat the Pessima? It's hard to say. I think it will, but I don't think it will beat the Prazu. And speed! There we go. 2 minutes 1. That is a very impressive time, and it's actually very similar to the Legrand Hellcat. Okay, so our next vehicle is this Covet Race. It is the updated Covet, as you'll see, but otherwise a version of a car we have had before. So I've decided it would be an interesting car to do because, you know, a slightly different design of a vehicle we've already had. I mean, see how it compares, eh? Anyway, let's get going. 3, 2, 1, and a go. This has about 250 horsepower, so less complaints there, and it will probably be lighter than the Pessima we've had before. And oh dear, wait, oh no, where am I going? Where am I going? I didn't hit something on my car. That's something, I guess. How did that come together? I'm not really sure, but anyway, I've got to hopefully not trash it into here. Yes. I think I was messing that up more than I was saving it, if I'm entirely honest. Curb there, just avoided it. And I think I got a good line out of all of that. Oh. This feels very nice, though. It feels very neatly set up, as did the old one, actually. The old Covet felt that way, too. And over some bumps we go, but it's fine at sorting those out. Oh. Yep. That was an odd way. That's a new way to take that corner, let's say. I don't recall any car going round it like that. Just the way it leapt onto its side, and I think I've messed the steering up or just bent the wheels outright. But hey, that was pretty amusing to watch, I found. And yeah, there was a pole right there, right out of my field of vision, I think, and then I just drove right at it, and then at the last moment I just realised it was there, but thankfully I weren't headed towards it, so I just about weren't headed towards it, so everything evened out. Ooh, what was that noise? That noise scared me. I hope it wasn't something blowing up. I'm not sure if it showed up on the recording, but I hope it did. It just sounded like a software glitch, I guess you could say. Probably what most of it sounded like. Oh, come on. That was much neater into there, even if it didn't feel so good at first. Veering to the right now, but it is going okay. It doesn't feel like my suspension's broke. It just feels like some bits of the steering system might be damaged, or the overall alignment of the car. You know, I'll get by. It might even be handling better this way, dare I say it. Oh, poles. The poles want to hit me. Or I want to hit the poles. One of the two. The latter is probably more true. I'm attracted to poles. They are like the magnets of my face. Yeah, if that's even a thing. Oh, come on. Out here we go. Ow. Come on. I'm not sure if this lap's going to be quicker. I took that corner in two very new ways. Now, this car is not like every other one at taking that corner, that's for sure. And so, yeah, I keep revving it too high. It's just so engaging to drive. Such an engaging thing. It's certainly no, Olds full size or Chevrolet Caprice though for ruggedness, that's for certain. And through here we go. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna set a sub 2-minute time, but this will be quick, I can tell you that much. How quick exactly, I am not certain, but boy, it will be a lot. I'm not looking in the top right corner because that, although it would tell me the time, it would also crash me, and that's something that this time I can't afford. Very neatly through there, actually, for a final lap, whereas normally I'd wreck it. Okay. I'm left slightly speechless by that. 155, the car even tipped itself onto its roof in celebration. How is that possible? You're a front-wheel drive and you're not even that powerful. How did you set a time that ridiculous? You beat a Formula 1 car. Wow. That is just madness. Even the lights still work after its celebration tip. And that is the front wheel we had to deal with. Okay. But, you know, it drove. And the fact is, it proved itself to be extremely solid even when everything was falling apart. We've also got a mirror under the ground, as you do, you know. Mirrors often hang out in the underground. They're not very well behaved. But we do need to move on to the next vehicle, so I'll do that now. Okay, so here we have the Ibishu 200BX race. It is just under 400 horsepower, rear-wheel drive. And it should be pretty quick, although, honestly, my expectations of this have been lowered significantly after seeing what that Covet was capable of. I mean, that thing is a monster. Like, I'm still questioning everything. I have to get going, though. You'll see my voice. It's, like, stuttering all over the place. Huge turbo lag from this. But, yeah, it's stuttering, and This is actually surprisingly planted, I'll give it that. It doesn't spin the wheels like other cars have. It may actually be the ideal power level, although having said that, the Covet beat a Formula 1 car with only 250 horsepower. Oh, come on. This, I don't know, but it certainly feels monstrous in how it's tackling this course so far. Oh, come on. Yes, beautifully through there. The slightly smaller size of this vehicle really helped as it got through there. Oh dear. Slow it down. This feels like a more sorted version of the Prazu, but that isn't really fair to say on it because the Prazu had 200 horsepower more, even a bit more than 200 horsepower more, so to compare it to that isn't really fair. Plus they're different tiers of vehicles. I guess the Prazu is a higher tier vehicle since it would have shipped with more power from the factory, but they are still of the same era, I guess, just of different sizes and different markets. This does have a beautiful chassis though. I remember these being oversteery, but I guess it's something that's happened in the recent update makes it actually a lot more balanced. It feels, dare I say it, ETKI series levels of good, and that is a good car to drive. That is a good series of vehicles even to drive, so for it to match that in my head from what was a crazy uncontrollable drift vehicle, that is definitely progress, I think. And oh dear, I might have broken my front bumper, but we are still going. Oh dear, something's a bit broken. Right, first lap at least wasn't terrible. 2 minutes 2, that is very good. But it's veering to the right now. I think I've bent my steering up. And as I say, on a more powerful, faster vehicle like this, it can be pretty traumatizing and dreadful when you have to deal with broken steering. Oh dear. Where am I even going? Come on. This way is where we shall go. Speed. And we brake. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh, come on, this way. Ooh, jump. Slow it down into this corner. And, whoa, we've got a hill to climb. I may have actually balanced up the steering. No, I haven't. I just felt for a moment I might have balanced out the steering by damaging the left enough to kind of fix it. But that's not the case. And I'm beginning to lose faith in it. It doesn't feel like it handles as well as it once did. Oh dear. Try and cutting across here. I feel I'm still going quick. I feel it may still be quicker than the first lap. But oh, I have to be careful because although it doesn't feel like it's veering as rightwards as it was with the first lap, and I'm noticing a recurring theme here. When a car damages the steering, it always seems to veer to the right. It could just be the way the slopes are on this course and the way you get chucked off them. But this was damaged by a curb, and that was damaging it to the same direction. So I guess it's just the overall nature of the course, which is, I find, very interesting. Round here, a bit gentler I think than before, but it worked out overall. Speed. That's a way to finish, although I think I took it too far. Still very, very quick. Don't get me wrong. I think even quicker than a Formula 1 car again. Oops. That was a bit of a mistake. I just tried and turn the headlights on and then suddenly it's just flown off. Yeah. Thankfully I caught that on record for all eternity. But this is another very, very impressive car. These Japanese tuners are looking pretty monstrous, mainly the ones stocked for the game. And it just proves though how a good combination of power and handling can easily beat the Formula 1 car that was actually pretty uncontrollable, if very, very powerful in its nature. And we finish off with a German tuner, the ETK I-Series Track, although it's basically a race car. This is about 45 horsepower down on the 200BX we've just had, but it's still a great chassis, still a great car, so still plenty of power, so we should still be going quite well. This is a 4-door saloon though, as you'll see. More weight has probably been stripped out of it than with the 200BX. because of all the rear seats and everything have gone, but still, I do need to get going. So let's get into gear and launch it off the line. This just has such amazing grip. This is, I feel, more amazing than the 200BX, but then it's less powerful, so it would be easier and it would appear to be gripping better. So I'll try and reserve judgment for the time being until I actually have it round the course. Oh dear. Yeah. It did get a bit out of control there, but the balance is good. The balance is here, and I feel this could be a sub 2 minute time, even if it doesn't beat the 200BX. No guarantees there, but if it doesn't beat the 200BX, even so, I feel it could still be a very good vehicle on the leaderboard. Actually, the way it's handling, it's having a few harsh bumps, but I'm feeling this may very well be able to beat the 200BX when it comes to it, because it feels just so well sorted, exactly as these vehicles have always been. Very neat into here, probably one of the neatest cars of getting round that section. I could improve on my second lap, but so far so good. This has, I believe, ABS, but I don't know. Either way, the brakes aren't causing me any problems at all. They've never seemed to be a problem on these tuners, which is odd. And this is a race car, as I say, so that's something. The 200BX I never thought of as a race car, because I just remembered them being crazed drift freaks, and I never really went back to them, because they just had such a bad image in my mind. But then they have got a lot better, and they have even become seriously competitive with that one car. So, oh dear. Same problem as with the 200BX. I've deflated a tyre this time, but I got a very good first lap, so at least, you know, we're not entirely in the dark when it comes to it. 157, I think we've beaten the 200BX already on our first lap. With a deflated tyre, will I though? Who knows? Oh dear. That wasn't exactly the angle I was going for, but I can use it round the corner to get away from here and onto the other bits of the track. And what am I even saying anymore? Okay, that's one way to take a corner. or is it a chicane of sorts? Which I guess is a type of corner, but that's one way to take it. The thing is still going and steering, so yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still going to drive it. I think I just smashed up the front bodywork. It actually reminds me of how it dealt with the Peru rally stage. It's just ridiculously good at surviving. Even when you throw it through all kinds of abuse, the thing will just keep on surviving. Through there I did feel slightly better, but I couldn't turn left anymore if I wanted to, so it wasn't really my choice. I got a bit of oversteer there, but it quickly corrected, pretty much by itself. Yeah, it's just such an easy vehicle to drive. The Formula 1 car would probably technically be quicker than all of these cars, I will admit, if it had a great driver behind the wheel. I am not a great driver though, and accessibility means a lot to how you can drive these cars, how accessible it is. Oh dear, I'm turning early here and it's just not quite taking it as I would have liked. Ooh. Come on. Speed. Try and turn early here, trying not to hit the curb, and oh dear. Taking some odd angles. Speed, and I've done it somehow. So yeah, well, what angle am I using? Ooh, I punctured a rear tyre. I think that was what I did at the end on this curb here. But by the looks of it, the first lap was quicker because the tyre wasn't punctured and I was able to carry more speed. That's how I'm guessing, at least. I'm not certain of it, but it was quicker on the first lap. Whereas other vehicles have been quicker on the second lap despite the damage. So that's an interesting change we see with this vehicle. And, ooh, what song is on there? Ooh, we can spy on ETK's radio systems because that's what we do. I've smashed pretty much every window on the vehicle because, yeah, that's just how I roll. I smash the windows of rare collector's cars. Oh, having said that, I've smashed the front window and the rear window The others don't look smashed from the outside, are they from the inside? No, very odd. Just the front and rear window are smashed. It's time, though, to put this car out of commission. There you go. No one knows I've ruined an expensive model now. They just think I've ruined a standard model. Anyway, I think this is going to be it for this episode. Surprising outcomes, I feel. And some of them were really properly quick. But I do need to say goodbye until another day.